Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is your BB Sommelier, Jacob, here. Yes, okay, I do know that it has been a hot sec since we have done a wine video, and there have been people who have been messaging me on Instagram, like, where's the wine stuff? Well, I'm here for the wine stuff, not gaming. And the reason why there has been a delay is because your BB Sommelier passed their first round of testing. Let's go! So that is the video today. We were talking about level 1 Somm stuff, kind of how I got started, how I can help you to also become a level 1 if you would like to. It's pretty straightforward how you can do that, of how to set yourself up for success, and so that's what we're talking about today. Let the story begin. So my journey with wine, besides drinking cooking wine by the jug in college, started in like 2018. I was working on a job where we had really extensive wine training before we even opened. And so I guess I kind of that's how I dipped my toe in, and I met this amazing person who is now to this day one of my adult friends. Now you might be confused by the statement adult friend. So an adult friend is someone either you meet when you're like in high school, middle school, and they're like a mentor, or an adult friend is someone you have met as you are an actual adult, but they are like 10 years older than you. So like not like parent, but like they're an adult friend. Anyway, this person kind of took me under her wing a little bit, showed me the ropes, taught me the things, and so that's kind of how I got started. But then like we did not do anything. That was like kind of like a little dusting of like maybe interest. And then cut to 2022, level one stage somm, whatever, yeah, person. I kind of had this whole idea, like I really want to travel, and I was like, you know what I am kind of a workaholic. So you know what I also love to do? Not spend money, but also make money while I'm doing things. So I thought, well, I could study wine, and then I could meet people who live overseas, and I could go travel, do things, maybe working with a company, maybe have a blog, whatever, and I can make money while I am places instead of spending money. So that's kind of how this whole started. And you know, through the process, you know, that's not a great way to do that, because you know, you should really do things that you have interest in. And what I found out is there's something really beautiful about wine, in the sense that it's really poetic, in a sense that it's universal, international, where like there's a common ground. Like even if you don't come from the same culture or like speak the same language, there is some vernacular there that like is the same, right? So there's a connecting force wherever you go, which is kind of cool. Also a little romantic, poetic, if you want to say, which I think is really cool. And I'm also a nerd, so like I didn't really grasp how much like science and things went into wine. There's a lot, as I've come to learn, and it's always changing. People are always trying to do new things, but like the oldies are still the strongest. And so that's kind of how I started my journey. As you know, if you know or you don't know, there are two kind of routes you can go with like wine training. There is CMS, Cours de Sommeliers, those people, fancy people, and then there is WSET, which I don't know what that means. Funny enough, that's what I'm doing. Cours de Sommeliers. So a sommelier, like in a restaurant, that's for them. That's what they want to do. If I did that forever, I think I would kill myself. The schedule is egregious. You never see your friends. You don't have weekends off. You're just kind of and you're the only person who does what you do in said restaurant. So it's just like really sad. And I'm just trying to destroy the patriarchy of wine and make wine more accessible to people. So I'm going WSET, which is more retail and like more expansive. And then maybe we'll go into Master of Wine. That's down the road, a few years from now. But yeah, so we are WSET level 1 approved. I am going through the Fine Vintage program. I did some research. I live on the West Coast, on the West Coast. So it is pretty accessible for me to have different options of which route I want to take. But I chose Fine Vintage because it seemed they had like a decent program in which they like really kind of want you to succeed. They're not trying to like grab your money or like, okay, give us your money, we'll do your test for you. Not do it, but like monitor your exam. They kind of give you study guides. They have a whole course sort of situation before you take your exam, which is kind of great. But I will say, if you are not studying before that, you are not going to do well, right? So some stuff I would consider like a level 300 course in college. If you went to college, you'll know what that means. If you didn't, it's there's a lot of information. And the more information you know, the easier life is going to be in the long haul. So how do you kind of learn that information? This book is my saving grace. It's backwards right now on screen, but it is the Wine Bible book by Karen McNeil. If you are just like looking for a book to just kind of get a glimpse about more knowledge about wine, this is not the book for you. This is like a very in-depth kind of written very well, very approachable, but encyclopedic sort of like beautiful Bible of information for you to succeed. And I will say that to do well, I would say start in France. Learn France first. Maybe not all like the restrictions and stuff, but France is to wine what ballet is to dance. Like, it's kind of the fundamental start of all wine. A lot of winemakers today got their inspiration from what they were doing in France and kind of adjusting their new things from there. Just like ballet, you know, contemporary, modern, hip hop to some extent, all has a base root in ballet and technique. So I would start in France. That's what I did. And what was really helpful in the exam is like for level 1, it was like they can throw you some trick questions. Like, for example, in Burgundy, is it common to blend Pinot Noir and Chardonnay? Now, if you know Burgundy, France, winemaking, their prominent grapes, I think actually some restrictions, their only grapes that are allowed to grow there are Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. Now, they are not blending those grapes there. The only time those two grapes are ever blended are in Champagne to make champagne. There's your first lesson. So like stuff like that, like as you're reading and like learning and stuff, you can like take notes, write things down, and it just goes into depth of like what kind of varietals are being made, what are the popular grape varietals, what's fermentation styles, which we're not talking about that today. The Wine Bible is amazing, but the Fine Vintage program, they give you a study guide, which is like gives you all the information that you need basically to do well on your test. Now I do study like Hermione Granger. So I overstudied, right? I got into the class and I was kind of like knew too much information for level 1, which is a great spot for me to be in because I'm not really trying to linger and procrastinate this process. Like, we are currently studying for a level 2, which is happening soon, but I feel okay about it. I passed my first round and I did very well. That's exciting. I'm excited. The channel is going to start turning into more wine stuff because I'm learning and figuring things out that are like very interesting, and I think it's simplifying maybe things that people try to talk over your head that you will not understand. Also, my wine blog is live. That is on my website, moreofjacob.com/blog. There is my wine stuff. There will be more in-depth information about that. Coming up, we will be exploring Chardonnay. I also took a trip up to Oregon to I had a hypothesis that Oregon is really the best expression of French style Chardonnays and Pinot Noirs that are not super expensive coming from France. So that post will be coming up, that video will be coming up. We will do like an overhaul of France as we're figuring out. So yeah, we're gonna learn together and it's gonna be amazing. And I hope to see you on this journey because it'll be a fun one. Okay, in the meantime, you can watch my old video. I teach everyone how to open a bottle of wine very easy with a nice little waiter's friend or wine key, as I like to call them. That will be linked here, there, everywhere. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'm very excited, and most importantly, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and always party. See ya.